Hey guys, I'm back with another one of my collectibles. Today I have Gigapower's version of Masterpiece Sludge. They call it Graviter. It is HQ04R, and this is the Chrome version. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. I've been waiting for him for about a year and a half now. So I'll just run through the box real quick. Nothing, I mean, it's got cool artwork on the front. The boxes have all been pretty much the same, so that's kind of cool. They've had the same aesthetic, so that's nice. But let's go ahead and open him up. Like I said, I've been waiting for a year and a half, so I'm real excited to unbox him. Ordered this direct from China. Hopefully everything is going to be okay. This is the first time that I'm actually opening it up. So we will see. We'll see how everything looks. Put that over there. You get a little instruction pamphlet there. We'll put that off to the side. And take off the. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. This is so cool. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see all this. This is gonna be a very large bot. The cool thing is looks like he comes in bot mode, or almost bot mode. Okay, so he comes with an extra head, and it looks like this one is the kind of menacing, screaming, kind of mad face. For some reason he's got blue eyes. I'm not too sure why he's got blue eyes for his mad face. But it looks like the box art is also showing kind of a blue eyes lit up. So I don't remember if that's accurate or not, but I'll have to look. Normally you would always have red eyes for when they're mad. So all right, so I'll check that out a little bit later. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the accessories. So he's got the like I showed before, he's got the gun. So that's, it's okay. And then he's got these two cannons. So those are okay. I mean, everything is plain, there's no paint or anything on these pieces, but that's okay. That's not really why I bought the bot. And then finally he has his sword. This is a very, very nice sword. It does light up. I have to get batteries for it as well, but there's a little switch on the bottom, so it does light up. Okay, so let's put all that stuff to the side because that is not why we came here today. I bought this bot 1.5 years in the making, so let's see if this is what I was wanting. Alright, so first impressions out of the box. Whoa, this is really shiny, and I'm gonna have to adjust my camera a little bit here. They've got some little protective pads. You can see there's gonna be some protective pads right here. Ooh, that ratchet feels really good. That joint right there felt really good. Yeah, look at how clicky that is. That's really awesome. Ooh, I love good joints, good engineering. All right, so first off, yeah, this is a shiny, fun, gonna be fun toy. All right, so let's go ahead. So when you take Mr. Sludge out of the box, this is the way he looks, which is okay. He had these little pieces on the sides of his arms. Listen to that joint. That's awesome. Very, very good sounding joint. We'll just go ahead and do a quick turnaround here. I'm going to transform him the rest of the way into robot in a second here. I'm just kind of, I'm in awe. Man, I just love Gigapower. They're doing such a great job with these. Just such a great job. Yeah. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move his arms up to get this shell to open up. So we'll go ahead and, oh yeah, that's awesome. Really awesome joints. Love the sound of it. Alright, and then what we'll do is we'll open up the shell a little bit here, and we'll basically just move that so it opens, and then we'll do the same thing here. Even got different clicking points on his shell wings. And then we can go ahead wow. Wow, we've got some serious joints here. Alright, so we'll leave it. Alright, wow, this guy is beautiful. One more thing here with the wings. These actually will tilt, so they have one, you can kind of basically move them up. So you should be able to do the same thing with this one here, just kind of move it up. Wow, I mean the detailing on this is amazing, and I love Gigapower. That's exactly what they do. I mean, look at the paint detail on this. This is all perfectly painted, high metallic paint. Really, really great job on the paint details. You know, I'll tell you, these dinosaurs, they take, you know, a year and a half, these guys, and they don't sell anything else. This is all they make. I mean, these guys are true fans. Look at the inside detail. That is freaking awesome. Just awesome, awesome detail. All this molded detail, and then awesome paint accents here and there. Wow. Just really, I'm just trying to take this all in, honestly, guys. I mean, this is like a red, candy apple red automotive finish, just like the other Dinobots. They did a great job with that. I mean, just look at how the light just hits it. Just looks wonderful. Waist is all really nicely painted. Let's go ahead and pan down a little bit here. And then you can see his, and there's a lot of die cast on this. There's definitely a lot of die cast. It's got all of this, all the detail inside here. Very reminiscent of the toy. I kind of wish my friends over at Transformers Beer, I think M and Joe would really appreciate these bots. Look at the details in here. This is wonderful right here. Wonderful. Awesome. Yeah, this is I'm kind of, and it's funny because this is my first time looking at them, so I'm just kind of trying to take it all in. It's just such a wonderful job that they've done here. I'm just so happy with the presentation. Let's go ahead and pan back up, because that's really the money shot right there. That is beautiful. Now you can see he's got articulated fingers, so that's cool. I mean, that's basically what he had with all the rest of them. I just love, I mean, these are loud joints. Just love it. Got everything has a really nice joint. A lot of die cast. I mean, all these chrome parts are basically die cast. This whole center section is die cast. It's got a real nice waist swivel. Waist swivel is very, very important. Not for me, because I like to display in the Dino mode. But yeah, as a sludge robot mode, this is freaking phenomenal. I'll go kind of pan him back a little bit. I mean, look at that. That is awesome. All right, well, oh, and then one thing that's really odd, this is the normal face, and the normal face for some reason has red eyes. So I'm not too sure why they decided to have red eyes for the normal face. I think that's a mistake. I'm pretty sure when the prototypes came out, they had blue. But then again, the packaging The packaging is showing that the blue eyes go with the screaming face, so I have no idea. I don't know what they did there, but it's not going to bother me. Another thing they have is they have the little, there's a little area right here to put an Autobot symbol, so it's kind of, this is all molded detail right here, but yeah, right here is where you can put the Autobot symbol. Yeah, this paint is just awesome to see in person. Kind of hard to show on camera, but yeah, in person this paint just freaking pops. Like, really nice. Alright guys, well, I'm here for Dino mode. I bought him for Dino mode, so I'm going to go ahead and get him in. I guess we'll go ahead and do a little bit of articulation. It's got really nice joints as well. Do kind of like the Van Damme. Yeah, I mean, this is heavy too. Like I said, it's about 2 pounds, I believe. Yeah, I mean, look at all this molded detail. Just really awesome. Let's see what else he's got. He's got articulation in the hips. He's got articulation in the thigh area. So he's got a lot of articulation. There is G1 Bumblebee. So you can see how large of a bot this is. It's just, let's start the transformation in Dino mode. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take the chest plate and just pull that down, and then his whole head is basically going to tuck inside, and then we'll close the chest plate. Right, next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold in the hands. So you're going to basically pull the little talon down, and you're going to pull this whole little section is going to kind of pop out a little bit, and then this whole thing is going to kind of drop down. So that's all. It has a little bit of a key right here, and then you're going to go ahead and fold the fist inside and make sure the thumb is also folded in there, and then that will all just kind of compress, and that will all lock into these little areas here, and then you'll have I don't know if we want to, I guess we'll call them claws, not talons, and then you'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and I mean, it's just on a little joint there, and then I had it the right way the first time, and then just fold that down. Okay, and there you go. So now you've got both of the feet. Right, so the next part you're going to do, and we'll just bring this a little bit closer over to the side here. So you're going to basically unclip the head. So there's a little bit of a clip down here. Just kind of pull up just a little bit, and then it should unclip. See that little clip right there? It just sticks in the back of his head. You're going to basically pull up his head. Let me raise this up a little bit here. So that's going to start his head there. Okay, and that's basically going to lock into that little stud right there. Alright, so now we have the Dino head. So you're going to take the collars and just basically separate these collars, and then you've got this ratchet. So this is going to be tough, so I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm going to put him on his side here just temporarily. I'm going to kind of hold him. I'm going to hold right here, and then I'm going to, this is a really tight ratchet, so we actually have to pull this kind of up. And believe me, it's scary, but it's a really strong ratchet. So I know that sounds really bad, but it's really, really strong. You can see all the teeth in there. There's nothing that's sheared. So that is, and that's everything that I've read. That's just very, very right. So now we should be able to form the rest of his neck. Go ahead and basically compress all that together, and that's going to be the rest of his neck there. It's all here, but you're going to take the Dino head itself, and he's on kind of like a ratchet, and it's just going to kind of compress in there. So it kind of folds up basically and kind of compresses in there. So you'll end up with something like now you've got a bot that has a Dino head coming out of it. So it kind of looks a little bit weird, but that's the way it is for its transformation. All right, so let's bring him back down here. So let's move the camera down a little bit here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these two back into place there, so you can see that. And let's see, we are going to make him look like he is doing a karate kick. So we're going to turn him around from here, and then we are going to straighten this out. Move that back. So we'll straighten this out. Wow, those joints are awesome. All right, and we'll basically move that around. I love that everything is ratcheted. I mean, even these, you know, even his body is on a ratchet. So let's see here if we can get this all into shot. So that's kind of where you're gonna be at there. You're gonna kind of have a half of a body. So you're gonna have a half of a body sticking up here. So this is funny the way it looks. He looks like he is he's half of a dinosaur on the top, and then on the bottom he is robot legs. So this is a very, very funny, I don't know if I can pan back a little bit to show you that, but yeah, this looks really, really funny. But that is where we are in the transformation. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to basically take his whole neck here, and we're going to basically just move it, turn it around, so you can just kind of grab the base and just go ahead and just turn it around so his whole neck and everything looks something like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to basically unhook this little tab right here. So there's a little tab right here. This is a locking mechanism, so just kind of pull that little tab up, and that's going to basically release this whole entire section here. You want to make sure you do this so you don't break anything. So just look for that little tab, it's right there, and just basically just pull that tab up, and that will basically unlock this whole section here. So once you have that, then we'll go ahead and we will basically do a split and kind of move the legs out a little bit here just so we have some room, and then we will readjust the camera so we can have and show all of this leg maneuvers here. So then you're going to basically pop this plate out there, and this whole entire piece should basically fold out. So this whole thing is on a mechanism there, and so once you undo this part, this is all going to basically fold out like that. Now we have this all basically split apart here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the tail, just be real careful with this tail here, and see if I can get this on camera here. So you're basically just going to real carefully just kind of fold it, just real lightly, and once it's loose, you're going to pull this arm back, just pull this so you can see that there's an arm right here, and basically just going to pull this back. Okay, let me see if I can get a better angle of this. Yeah, there you go. So you can see there's this joint and there's this arm. You're basically going to pull it back, and then in order to clear all of this, what you're going to do is you're just going to pull the tail. There's a spring inside the tail. It's a really cool joint. So this is on a spring, so just be very careful and just pull, and then that should lock into place. So that's how you're going to get past all of this extra stuff here. Alright, so the next part here is you're going to have this little inside joint, so just pay attention to that. You're going to pull this down, and there's actually 3 little tabs, so you're just going to kind of rock it, and maybe it's easier to show you from this angle here. So I'm just going to kind of turn this over a little bit. There's actually like 3 little tabs in here, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to rock it forward, so this is kind of on the outside, and then that'll just lock right into place kind of like that. So that's how you're going to do that part of the transformation. So yeah, if we turn this back over, you can kind of see that it's no longer using the 3 little inside tabs here. It's actually using the
It's actually using these 3 tabs right here.
Another thing you're going to want to pay attention to is this these 2 pieces right here. I mean, this piece here just has like a little lever on it that you can disengage, and that'll kind of free up this whole mechanism here. And then this piece here, just make sure this piece is full. So this piece here, you're going to fold that out like that, and then this one's going to get freed up, so it's kind of free like that. Just want to make a note. I just want to give everybody a visual of kind of where I'm at in the transformation. I really want to help people out because this seems like it's real confusing online. So I'm holding the whole entire bot up in my hand. You can see his head is facing that direction there. You can see I haven't even touched this leg at all. The waist section, I've spun that around, so his chest, and then this is the reverse. The painted side is on the back, so spin the whole waist around. And what you're going to have is basically where we were before in the transformation. All of this stuff is just going to be hanging at that point, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to basically bring this leg kind of like a split. We'll bring this leg up like that, so it's like a split, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of fold this so it's in kind of that position there. Right, so with him having in that position where you kind of got his thigh vertically and then this horizontally, we'll have a little bit of work room now to fold all this together. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put him down like this. I'm actually going to move this thigh up a little bit more, kind of push that back, just kind of get a little bit of work room in here. And I'm going to rest him on the table since there's just using his front feet there, just kind of give you an idea. So now we have to take all of this stuff and we have to fold this all in. So all these tabs basically are going to lock together. This whole tab is going to lock together there. That's going to lock in, and there's also a little tab in there. So you have like this section like this here. And then now that we have that basically set up like that, we're going to kind of fold this all kind of in. Before we do that, just push back your wing there. This piece should be out like this, and basically going to connect it into the thigh. So you're going to spin this around. Let me see if we can see this. This is really hard to do on camera, honestly. So you're going to kind of leave this all open, and then you're going to kind of spin this. Let me get the camera situated here. So this whole piece here is going to kind of fold in on itself, and then there's going to be a little tab right inside here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little hole right in here, and we're basically going to tab this this pin inside there. Let me see if I can get that in there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a pin on this piece of, there we go. So that's going to lock that all into place there. You can see there's a little pin there, so that's all locked into place for that side. And here's the side view of it. You can see this piece right here, and then this piece should just be free right now, and it's on like a spring joint right there. So just leave that piece alone. Just be aware that it's there. You obviously don't want to lay down a lot of pressure on it. It's not a very, very strong piece. Alright, so this is basically where we're at. You can see that we've got the left part of the tail, and if I put him down on his front legs, you can see that this section here is basically all transformed. The leg I did not extend yet, but I just want to go ahead and focus and do the same transformation on this leg here. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's pick him up again, and just basically just take the leg and just kind of move it out a little bit like that, just so you can get to this little pin. And then inside here there's this little locking mechanism. It's right here where my finger is. You're just going to basically pull this little thing up so that it just locks. It's just a little black little tab there, and that's going to make all that loose. And then we're going to move over here,
And then you can see we've got the same type of piece. Just going to open that up. That's going to open up, and there's also a there's a little mechanism in here which should free that. Yeah, so right here there's this little slide. Just go like this, push that down, and then that will free this little push button tab there. So this whole unit here is just going to kind of be. Okay, so then this whole section is going to be kind of loose. You're going to have this piece out, and then you can basically just unfold this whole entire section here. And then we're going to do the same thing with the tail, so we can kind of rest that like that. You can kind of put your hand underneath here to kind of rest all this. And then we're going to have this mechanism right here. And so this is going to come out, and we're going to pull this arm up kind of like that. And we will, let me raise the camera a little bit more here. Okay, so in order to get past all of this stuff, we're going to basically use this spring mechanism here. You can see it's spring loaded. Okay, and we will go ahead, and now we have to work on this inner joint right here. We're going to move it from these holes here to there's a little piece of styrofoam there. Move it from these holes here, so you can see those tabs are free, and we have to move it all the way to the outer holes, which you can't see right now, but that's the goal. Is you kind of have to work it in a little bit until it gets to those outer holes, and you kind of have to move back and forth so you can actually see what you're doing here. It's kind of a little bit of a game. You just got to be careful with the tabs themselves. So you're just focusing on that whole little joint there, and then you'll see that it'll just pop right into place. Okay, and then we'll take a look at it from the inside here. So from the inside here, you can see that joint now is lined up with little piece of styrofoam. The joint is lined up with those outer 3 holes. Instead of the inner 3 holes, it's on the outer 3 now. Alright, so that's where we are in the transformation. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to start moving this whole entire piece here. So we're just going to we're going to move this whole piece so we can line it all up. And just be careful with the tail, you know, just take it easy. But we're going to move this here. And this whole piece is going to kind of collapse on itself. So we have to line all of this up. All of these pieces all these tabs have to line up there. And then you're going to have this whole section here, which will be it's just tough because it's just such a heavy bot, so it's hard to, it's much easier if I didn't have this stupid camera in front of me, but you're just going to kind of flip all that together like that. So he's going to look something like that. And if you just grab by the core, okay, and just make sure these inner flaps are down. And the same thing you did on this side. The other side actually popped out because of the transformation here, but we're going to basically squeeze that whole thing together. And before you do all this, just kind of get this little piece of the tail popped out here. You'll see this little piece here. Just swing that out and then just flip it around. So I just want to point this out that, you know, before you put the tail and compress this tab piece in here, just make sure that you have this little locking clip to lock the top half and the bottom half. So just that same mechanism that you released to allow the whole leg assembly to fold forward, you're going to want to make sure that you basically retab that in there like that, and that holds the top part and the bottom part together. So there's that little tab right there. So once you have that, you can go ahead and click that in, and then you can lock down the top. So you'll have basically these two pieces locked in there. And yeah, we're getting close to compress this all together. Alright, so let's make sure that we've got the, let me raise the camera up a little bit here. Let's make sure we've got these side pieces re-tabbed in here. So let's re-tab those in to the side. So we've got 1 and 2. Okay, so those are in there, so that looks good. Alright, so you can compress all, like I said, you can compress all this a little bit, but you don't want to go super tight. We have to also, we have to basically put these pieces in place. So you've got these pieces that are just on those spring slide joints. So you're just going to want to make sure those are also, let's just set this down for a minute here so you can see that. And then they're just going to basically lock in. So once you have them kind of in that keyed position there, we can start to push everything together. Okay, and start pressing the tail together. All this should start coming together. All right, I went ahead and opened this back up. Just as I was squeezing, I'm like, hey man, I hope the chrome doesn't touch the chrome. So I'm just going to put these little pads back on. They came in the box, so I would maybe advise doing that. Just kind of put those, these pads that it came with, this little foam, just before you actually close up this whole collar area here. So we'll just tuck those in there. So I compressed it the rest of the way off camera. Like I said, the front on mine, this is a really tight joint. So the front, there's a little tab here that's part of this this piece here, and I think there was a little bit too much chrome on mine, so I had a really hard time getting it in. But once it was in, and it seemed like it went in a little bit better the second time around. But yeah, just be careful right here. I mean, this joint right here, you can see how close this is. This foam is definitely protecting the really nice candy apple red paint job. I really feel that's going to be a damage point for a lot of people, since this jacket is so tight once it's compressed together with these two little front areas here. So I had to do that off camera. I just had to take my time with it. And that's really the thing with any kind of collectibles, just take your time. And then what I'll do is I'll just basically either try to push the rest of this little foam in with my finger. You can see on the other side it's sticking out a little bit more, but yeah, I'll just push that in. So now the next thing we're going to do is, now that we have all of this, we can extend the feet. And the front feet here, let's make sure we just turn the front feet around, because you want these facing forward. So we can do the same thing on this side, just basically just turn this around. And then for the back feet, just make sure you've untabbed it. There's a little tab back here. Just make sure you untab it, and then you can kind of pull this little secret compartment up, and then inside of here is going to be the actual legs themselves. So I just wanted to point out, these legs are really hard to get out at first. So when you open these in this container, this compartment, the legs are real tight. So I actually had to do it off camera. You literally just have to work it. You've got to apply a little bit of pressure, kind of pulling, using these little ridges here to pull back as you put your finger in here to pull down. So once you get it, you'll be fine, but it does take a little bit. So we can just work these talons, or whatever you want to call them, I guess claws. I'm gonna work these up and over. Okay, and then you can close the back compartment there, and do the same thing for the other side. Basically pull that down, and then go and close that compartment. Alright guys, look at this thing. This is a masterpiece. Look at how gorgeous this thing looks. I am 100% still a huge fan of Gigapower. They're doing just such a wonderful job. This bot is absolutely stunning. Just a wonderful version of Sludge. This will bring in my little friend, Mr. Bumblebee. So here he is. See if I can get him to stand.
Maybe not. I'll just rest him against Sludge's leg, I guess. It's kind of hard to stand on this little turntable. But yeah, you could see the size of this guy. This guy is just awesome. I mean, and like I said, as far as like the paint detail, that is freaking phenomenal. All right, so I went ahead and I put on all of the plastic pieces for the more toy accurate version. So you can see here is the headpiece, and it does extend the tail a little bit, so it really doesn't look too bad. I mean, when we initially saw these plastic pieces, they looked a lot darker, but now they're definitely more translucent than they were before. But it does actually extend the tail out a little bit longer. It does actually look pretty good, though, honestly. The other Dinobots, I did not actually use the plastic pieces. They were definitely a lot darker. This one, definitely, it's nice. I actually don't mind it. So you get the collars for here. So this is 2 pieces here, 2 pieces here, and 2 pieces here, and they just they literally lock into the figure itself. There's actually mounting holes there, and they lock right in. And even the plastic itself has a little bit of detail to go along with the actual detail on the figure itself. So we can open up his mouth, and you can see inside of Sludge's mouth. Let me move Mr. Camera up a little bit. He's got nice sharp teeth in here, and you can see he's got his blasters in there. I don't know. So it came with these rubberized flames, and this is for the actual sword. So you're actually supposed to put this in here, and then that lights up, which I thought that's really cool. It'd be a really cool effect to have. But for me, since I'm not interested in the robot mode, I was wondering if I could just use this for him. I'm gonna play around with this a little bit, and I wonder if I could use this to look like he's shooting fire out of his mouth. So I'm gonna try to mess around with that a little bit later, but that's cool that actually came in the box. Pretty happy to see that. And then also we can take his little blasters here, and we can basically attach them to his legs. So we can do that. And a little bit of styrofoam on there. Make sure they're the right direction here. Yeah, I believe that is right. Yeah, it's cool. So look at that. Look at Sludge, man. He is ready to annihilate. But he's also friendly. Yeah, I just can't get over how beautiful this figure looks. Really, really looks amazing. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Hopefully, you've enjoyed my my little unboxing and transformation. If you like these videos, please, come back and watch. And I will see you guys on the next one.